Okay, good morning, good evening, and good afternoon. Welcome back onto the podcast. Actually, we've thought about some names, but waiting for Ricardo to kind of put his names for the podcast in the hat. But yeah, Gabriel's always comes up with the best names, man. Always comes up with the best names. We're gonna have to vote on that anyway. A little bit later on, maybe in the next couple of weeks. We'll probably give you guys an option as well for which one you want to vote for. And also on top of that, there is a link in the live chat. If you would like to come onto the podcast at the end, there is an invitation out to you. A call out, shout out to everyone last week's show. I was speaking to Gabriel about this. We've got over 1,000, I think, 500 views. I'm not sure what's happened there. 1,500 views from last week's podcast. So thank you very much, guys. Let's hope we can beat those numbers on this live podcast. Now, before we actually start the show, we did have some comments. They're a little bit strange comments because they're kind of relating to the podcast that we're going to do now, Gabriel, which is about habits. So anyway, I'll read them out whilst Ricardo finds his way back onto the podcast. So this comes one from MD Saiduraman. He says, powerful video. These habits are not just about money, but mindset too. It's a game changer. So it's a bit strange because we didn't talk about habits last week, did we?
That's what I'm laughing at. That's what I'm finding quite strange.
We didn't talk about habits last week.
Somebody's living in the future. Somebody's living in the future.
Anyway, into the future. Anyway, well, thank you for that comment. And then the next comment that came on again is about the habits. I'm not sure. Anyway, these top 10 habits are fire. Applying even a few of them can shift your whole life. And then the last one.
Did I know?
Sucks. Go on, Gabs.
Where are they getting habits from? I'm just trying to figure out.
I don't know. Because I got them from the video that we did last week. So I'm not. It's strange.
Yeah.
These top 10 habits are fire.
Top 10 habits as well.
Yeah. Anyway, applying even a few of them can shift your whole life. Then success starts with habits. And this list is gold, 100%. Thanks for breaking it down so clearly. Again, we didn't talk about habits last week.
No, we didn't.
We're talking about it today. Anyway.
Yeah. Is this something like what do they call it? Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
Or someone living in the future.
A time traveler.
Yeah, time traveler. Anyway, let's say the hellos to the panelists. The names and the faces are the same. Ricardo, how has your week been, man?
My week went too quickly. Super busy this week. First week back in action. The weather hasn't been helping, as you know. Everybody knows here. The person whoever lives in the UK, but super quick. But you know what? I am super excited to be here today and share this little space with you guys and talk about some positive and interesting things. All good.
All good to see you back, Primo. All good to see you back. Gabriel, how have you been, man?
Yeah, my week's been pretty quick too. I mean, the weeks are flying by us, but yeah, it's getting cold here now. It's getting cold here in Melbourne.
Yeah.
I think today is the first day. I think yesterday was actually the first day of. It actually reminded me of London or UK weather. Previous to that, even I was thinking, is this winter? I mean, it's quite nice, but anyway, there you go.
Yeah.
Every blessing, rain come because we need the rain here as well. So it's good.
Yeah. I've got to say, so I have been to Australia, and Gabriel would say the weather is winter in Australia. I tell you what, it's like spring. The degrees in Australia, your winters are our springs.
That's right.
15,
That's right.
16 degrees, something like that. That's spring
Yeah,
for us
there you go.
in
There
the
you
UK.
go. Yep, yep.
So anyway.
Absolutely.
All
Stop
right.
complaining.
I
Stop
know,
complaining.
exactly.
Oh, people complain now, and I've got to say to them, you better go to the UK, and then you know. Amazing.
Oh
Amazing.
dear. All right. Okay. So Ricardo's going to be walking us through this particular podcast about the habits. This one's going to be about the habits. Let me back to the first
Well,
one. There you go.
I think in this respect, they said 10 habits. The people are talking about 10 habits. I think this one we summarized the best ones, right? One of the best ones.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's a large topic. We went through the one that we think are the one that are more common when people go through them. So yeah. So
Absolutely.
it's all about overcoming personal barriers to growth, and we're gonna be talking about procrastination, negative self-talk, perfectionism, lack of focus, and fear of failure. So first slide. So understanding the habits and staying from the overwhelm or uncertainty is where we're coming from. And sorry, the a strategy. SOE. So if we go straight to the first slide, the one saying procrastination, Alex. Okay, there you go. So we're trying to resume the concept, also come out with some different strategies. And for me, it's simple. Procrastination is the action of delaying or postponing something. It's so typical, you know. We 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 all know face different challenges in life, but I think it's all about priorities. If you have something that you need to do, you must do it. When you keep delaying, and I will do it later, or I will do it, in 10 minutes, things will never happen because that's a life. We all have busy life. Things get in and out. A cool family. Who knows what can happen? But it's about having that kind of it needs to happen now because as there is that video saying, don't live for tomorrow what you could do today.
Today.
You know, I love that. My mom used to tell me that all the time.
My
Don't live for
grandmother used
tomorrow.
to say that. My grandmother used to say the same thing.
Live for tomorrow you could do today.
Yep.
So we are bringing some strategies and beautiful people that you could put in place, like break the task into a small steps. Sometimes we have these massive tasks and these big things that's overwhelming and we want to do in one go. Just give yourself the different steps. Now when I do this, and now the second big when I achieve this, it's gonna happen this, and then just break it down and make it easier. Still, you're gonna do the whole thing, like just break it down. It all depends as well how people process information or how people do things. But it's easier when you break them down. And I use you to do lists and planners. There is that old saying as well. I love it. And saying that a small pencil is better than a big mind or big memory, something like that. Write it down. When you write it down, you have in front of you, you visualize it, you visualize it, and you know what needs to happen. Just do it. And set the deadline. If you haven't got a deadline for whatever you're doing, it will never get done. Even
Mm-hmm.
for, you know, sometimes you need to say this needs to happen before this time, it needs to happen from Monday to Friday. You need to have that deadline where you're gonna you can see the end, just pushing or working towards the end. And try the Pomodoro technique. I have to say, I learned this now because of Graveyard. And it's amazing. It's about diving work into focus intervals with short break. Again, you gonna have your task, you're gonna get into whatever you're doing it, and you're gonna keep yourself that little 1 minute, 2 minutes, another coffee, something when you will come back again. So it's still it's the same task, but you're gonna break down and you're gonna give a little break in between. Stand up, stretch your legs, if you have problem in your back, lean forward and back and get back to your work. And I think that is brilliant because it will create a structure, time management, also that will help you to improve your focus and prevent the burnout. And this is all about prevent the burnout, you know, in this kind
Mm-hmm.
of task. But procrastination is so easy. Alex and Gregory, if you want to, chip in.
But
Yeah,
I just want to say, I know we're on the first slide, and the first topic is just saying about understanding the habits. Don't the habits stem from your immediate environment, and your immediate environment or your primary environment is your household. It's where you learn most of the things. The routine that you get into is basically from your primary environment, which is your house. Is that not right, Gabriel? You learn all those things, those habits, in the household, no? Because you said that it's from overwhelming and uncertainty, but I think it's from your primary environment, which is
I mean, it's okay. All right. I'll take it. I mean, I understand. I would say maybe sometimes in your environment that you've grown up in, and that could
mm,
happen. But here's the funny thing. I think sometimes you have to understand that sometimes it is actually innate in a lot of people, right? And why I say that is that you just it's just something we want to do because naturally a lot of people want to put off the things that they don't want to do, right? Naturally,
mm,
that's what they do, right? So I use my son as an example, right? And I used to say to him, you go, you look at him, he's like he's got to clean up, do the chores of the house, right? I said, you've got a duty to do in it, and then he'll try and delay it, right? And then I go, why don't you do it as soon as when it's a lot easier for you to do it right there and now, rather than leaving it to later when you're sitting down there and you're relaxing and you don't even want to get up. And because now I have to tell you that you have to do it now. And you could have done it hours ago and it's more difficult. You're tired and you see what I'm saying? So, and I used to tell him this, long time ago, I'm still trying to break him out of that habit. I'm still
but
trying to break him out of that habit. You
but
know what
but
I'm saying?
so you're trying to instill good habits
Yeah,
to your
because I'm trying
son.
to say, do not procrastinate, right? So I'm saying, don't procrastinate, because these are lessons that you're gonna learn because even in the household,
Hmm.
and then you take it to lifelong lessons, right? Outside, so you start to do things which in terms of your work or whatever profession or what you do in life.
Hmm.
Once you've mastered that, you said, I mean, once you do it from home, as they say, that charity begins at home, right? You start doing it there, and then you start moving it across into all the other things, and then it's great. And because procrastination, no matter, it is a thing that a lot of people fight with, despite the fact that the days that they, most of the time they've mastered it. Sometimes it can creep up on you and say, "Oh, shall I leave it till tomorrow?" Do you know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm.
It's a real tricky one. But if you develop the habit and it becomes so, how would you say, it becomes a habit.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
No, do you know what I mean? And now you don't procrastinate because you look at now and you go, I got to do it now. Reason why I got to do it because you think like, if I don't do it now, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's so easy.
Well,
Yeah,
well, tomorrow's never guaranteed, is it?
yeah,
But yeah, I
exactly.
just wanted
There
to
you go.
kind of get clarification on habits as a general. Again, routines and habits. I think for me
Yeah.
personally, they come from your primary environment, which is at home. Whether there's a single parent there or two parents or a full household with one, two, three, four siblings. I think
Yeah,
that's the primary teacher in where you develop your habits. But
correct.
yeah,
Oh, in habits in general, you're absolutely
yeah,
right.
yeah,
There's a lot of habits in general which come based on your house because of the environment you're growing up, the
yeah,
habits you picked up when you were a kid. Because that's as you were when you're young and everything that's when your formative years. There's the years where you pick up a lot of things. You're like sponges, and you
yeah,
pick up so much stuff. So you pick up a bad habit. Do you know what I mean? It's something you've learned, and
yeah,
you
yeah,
have no control of that. Yeah, there you go.
yeah. Next slide, Ricardo. Or
Good.
yeah,
Next slide, please. And now we're going to be talking about negative self-talk, and I love these um, always said bad habits or negative habits because this is all about understanding, well, it's not understanding the habit, but basically, negative self-talk is just a critical inner voice that erodes confidence. And I was trying to summarize that. And for me, it's that internal dialogue that is critical pessimism and belittling towards oneself. And it's so common in people who are struggling with confidence, in people who are as the human being, our mind is like a magnifying glasses. Sometimes, or a big magnifying glasses or glass. Sometimes when there is a problem, the job of the mind is to put it twice or three times bigger. And it's so easy, just even a small task for people low confidence or people are not sure about what to do to talk himself out of the task. Just saying, I'm not good enough. A typical thing I can't do this. I'm always fail. And it's also difficult to overcome. It doesn't matter sometimes when you have somebody beside you telling you, yeah, you could do it. When you get into that negative talk and it's going around, and as we know how powerful the mind is, it's difficult to come out of that. But, and we always say this, it's always a strategy. And one was that could be is practice self-compassion, with yourself. I mean, I know it's something that I still I trying to learn because I am quite I am the biggest critic of myself. Me
Mm.
that's me as a person. I always try to keep it 100 and real. I mean, sometimes when something happens that I don't do properly, or I can't come to that. Listen, man, it needs to be done. I'm like, come on, what you were doing? But when you practice a self-compassion, say, well, and if that work for you, that would be brilliant. I am completely positive, but that is me. But also, you try to replace with positive, affirmation, and we know how strong affirmations are. It's something that I would say, it's something that I do. I'm then write it down. I don't read them every day. If I say to you every day, I will lie to you. But the majority of the time during the week, I go through my affirmations. I remind myself the reason why I'm doing this, how great we are, and I reflect on my strength. You know, sometimes the majority of the time we think about our weakness, but we forget about our strength. And everybody has a strength of weakness. You know, um,
Ricardo, can I just say something very, very quickly?
yes,
So this week I have been practicing with my children in the interventions that I do with the children about the zones of regulation. For those of you who don't know what the zones of regulations are, is when you are, I mean, we want the vast majority of the population to be in the green zone. The green zone is when you're happy, you're feeling okay, you're feeling calm. Then you have the yellow zone, which is when you're super excited or maybe you're feeling very, very sad. Then you've got the red zone. So I was doing certain scenarios with the children. I said, look, imagine if you are about to do a presentation in front of your class. You're feeling very nervous, you're feeling very anxious. What strategies would you do? So am I expecting the children to say, maybe I would count to 10 or I'll speak to the teacher? And one of the children said, tell yourself a positive affirmation. I
wow,
can do this. I am okay. I can do that. I thought, wow, for this boy is 8 years of age, Gabriel and Ricardo. And he's saying to me, tell yourself that you can do this, but take deep breaths. I think what a fantastic strategy. When
wow,
you're feeling you might be in the yellow zone or the red zone, you tell yourself, I can do this.
There you go.
For
Yeah.
he's 8 years of age.
magnific, not magnifico, magnificent.
That's
I mean,
yeah. There you go.
how could you
Ready.
be? How could you be? And
Yeah.
as Alex and Gary, sometimes when I talk to people that I can have this type of conversation. Sometimes you're gonna have this type of conversation or this type of analysis with everybody. But I always say to people, listen, look at yourself, right? When your mom and your dad decided to have a relationship, decided to have you, in the process to design you, there were probably thousands of spermatozoids running through to get to the egg, and you were the only one who made it. You are
Mm,
special. From there, you
mm,
are special. You were the strongest. You were the more prepared. You swim. You go there, and look at you. So from day one, you are a winner. you win the most important race of your
Yeah,
life.
yeah, yeah,
That's the
yeah,
reason why. That's the
yeah,
reason why you are here.
yeah,
The rest is
yeah.
history. It's about you overcoming any fear you have and having that so mindset and getting and man, this is who we are. But to find someone at the age of 10 having that kind of a thinking, that kid is gonna be a champion.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That kid's gonna be a
Yeah,
absolutely,
champion.
he's already got
absolutely.
the mindset there.
Yeah, I
It's
was not
foundation.
expecting him to tell me that. I was thinking, oh my goodness, wow.
That,
But yeah,
that kid's
yeah,
gonna be a champion. And the other thing that also we have here, if you want to track your stuff, if you want to write down, still on the old way, have a journal. Have a journal and seek for support. Get close to people who has a kind of Bible of energy. People who are really, you know, people who are alive. Because sometimes people associate to people who are already dead, right? And they expect to be moving to anywhere. You need to get friends. You need to get associate with people who are alive, with people who really love life. Because believe it or not, as a hard it could be or it is, life is beautiful. You just
hmm
need to make that decision. And this is something I'm doing, and Gary and Alex. Every morning when I wake up, in the morning before I go to the door, I said, today I made a decision that today is going to be good.
yeah,
Sorry
yeah,
to
Today is going to
repeat
be
again.
good.
Sorry.
yeah,
I always said, today I'm making a decision or
yeah,
making a decision that today is going to be good.
yeah,
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 yeah.
It's going to be a good day today.
There you
That's
go.
absolutely,
a,
I'm,
that's the
absolutely,
I'm I'm
matter.
with that. I'm with that. I'm with
yeah,
The
that.
matter is raining. Today is going to be a good day. So this is some few strategies. If you have any strategies, guys, about negative self-talk, anything that you have experienced.
yeah. I mean, again, at my workplace, I always try and give the children the feeling of being valued, and same like you just said, Ricardo. I always say to them at the end of the conversation, "Have a great day. Have a great day." Irrespective, whether you're having fights or arguments with your peers, just think to yourself, today is going to be a good day, or better still, today is going to be a great day. Positive personal affirmations. Today is going to be a great day, irrespective.
Hey, and even more so, here you go. When I talk to people here, when I greet people in the morning and things like that,
Yeah,
son,
yeah, yeah,
wife, and everything, you say to them, uh, "Have a great day,"
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
right?
And how does it
Because
make you feel, Gabs? How
and
does
it
it make
makes
you
you
feel
feel
when you
great, right? Because I don't have to say it, but they makes because I'm saying I have a great day, so it tells me I should have a great day, right? So I'm gonna have a great
Mhm.
day. That's how I do it. So I'm in a positive mindset for me to say to them, "Have a great day." You
it's
know what I mean?
amazing.
You know what
It's
I'm saying?
amazing how yeah, let's say how that make you feel to people. We forget sometimes these two words. Early in the morning, seeing somebody else. I mean, it can change everything. It can change everything.
Absolutely,
It can change
Yeah.
everything.
absolutely.
And I
So, yeah.
and here in I mean here in the Australia they use the word a lot. They say good day, mate.
Good day, mate. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Nice.
And you look at them and it's, you know what I mean, and you can see them. A lot of them, do you know what I mean? They've got a good attitude about life and everything like that. It's almost like you can see the no stress. No, do you know what I mean? They're just the easy life, easy mindset in that sense.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
nice to hear that. Makes you feel good when they say good day, mate. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
good day.
well, Alex, we can relate to that because they say have a good day, mate, and they still have the sun. So because we haven't got a sun, we say have a great day, mate.
Yeah. Yeah. Gabriel, can you beat that?
Because we haven't
Have a
got a sun.
wonderful
So
day.
we tend to,
Have a
we tend to
wonderful day.
compensate.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
I love it. So yeah, perfectionism. Oh, this is a big one of us.
Yeah.
Uh, too
Yeah.
many people are victims of this, you know. A perfectionism is the relentless pursuit of the flawlessness, which can lead to stress, burnout, and fear of making mistakes. I mean, I mean, this is something that I love it. I love it because for me, it doesn't exist. I don't try to be perfect. I don't try to do anything perfect. You always try to do it, and it's amazing the amount of people that are trying to get it perfect, and they miss the point, they miss the shot, and at the end they don't they don't do anything. I've seen it too many
Absolutely.
times. Also, and it can be associated with we know it's the desire to be excellent, but it can also be fueled by a lack of self-esteem, fear to fail, and leading to stress and anxiety. And it is so typical. I've seen it too many people around, and even in business, when the business associate, I need to get it. But no, you cannot do it. You cannot get it perfect. You should do it. And as a strategist, we always say set realistic goals. I mean, have a short-term goals, have a long-term goals, but make them realistic. Don't shoot for something that you will get frustrated because you know you are not in this moment in time. You are not ready to achieve it. Maybe later on, but not now. And focus on the progress, not to perfection. And I always say to people, don't just think in the final result. Focus on what you're doing right now, what you're doing, where you want to be, who you're helping, how the things are going. The result will come regardless. But if you focus on what you have in front of you, the result will help itself. I mean, don't worry about that will happen. And
Mm,
mistake, if you don't do mistakes, you will never learn. You need to make mistakes. This is part of the process.
Mm.
As you grow, it will happen. Please, of course, don't try to make the same mistake all the time. You know, that could be. But if you do a mistake and you learn from it, it's a learning curve. You know, next time how to do things, you shift things in a different way. But everybody, look at the big, I don't know, the scientists. Look at the big guys who have done something amazing. How many times have they failed to get to a point to create the light bulb, to get to a point to do the instant? Everybody have gone through failing. So failure is not a problem. It's just part of the process.
Mm.
And celebrate the small wins. I love the small wins. When everybody wants to have the big wins, I
yeah.
think the small wins are really important. Every single thing that you can achieve as small as it is, take a second, celebrate it, talk about it, let people know, and let's just move into
Move on.
the next things.
Mm.
But small wins will take it to big wins. And as I mentioned before, embrace done is better than perfect. And I love that saying from Richard Branson. I always say, you know, just do it or screw it and figure it out later on. If something comes to you and you see the opportunity, don't wait. Just try it on. It happened. But don't just sit down, oh, I'm going to do it, I'm not going to do it. And because as Alex and Grevio, remember what we did in a couple of, I think, two podcasts away. If you wait for the light of the tunnel to be green, you will never move. They will
Yeah.
never be green. There's always going to be one red. You
Yeah.
know,
There was
just
never a
do it.
perfect moment. Yeah.
Just do
Gabs,
it.
Absolutely.
you want to say something, Gabs?
Yeah, what I was going to say. So based on this, it all goes. I mean, again, it also leads about breaking down in tasks, right? So where you start, so you look at you look at something like you want to build something which is perfect, right? And you think, oh, I can't wait. I want to build something that's perfect. But you start with and you break it all down. Once you break it all down and you say, right, I'm going to start with this. Here's the interesting thing. Even when you make the mistake with that first thing, right? The greatest thing about that is that you make the mistake with that first thing because you've broken down. You're concentrating at the task in hand, right? It's not. It doesn't seem like a massive mammoth task, and then it doesn't go quite right. You can readjust it, fix it, and then get it right because the task is smaller for
Mm,
you to fix
mm.
it and easier for you to fix it rather than thinking to yourself, right? I've got all this whole thing, and I'm thinking blah blah blah. I've got to build this whole thing, and you're rushing, you're trying to get to that point where you want to try and make it, and you keep trying it, it's perfect, and all the big, and you try to do that all the way through to the point, as you said, you just get so exhausted, and it never gets done. Guess why? You get burnt out. There's too many. In fact, it becomes perpetual because of the amount of it, because of your burnout and everything, and because you're not able to concentrate and everything like that. So it's always easier to make sure, as I say, it's all about the KISS principle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
But
KISS
I love
principle.
what you say. I love what you say, Gary, with your this. You just went around to something quite important. I mean, I love this bringing so that we always do reflection between back and forth between us. You said something that sometimes it's the typical mentality of people. You said that just adjust, create the small task until you get it. But the big majority of people, what they do is they change the task. They don't adjust. You know,
Change the task. Yeah. Stick to the plan, right? Stick to the plan. Stick to the plan. The little task that you put there in order for you to get to that point, and stick to it. Yep, exactly. But it's easy for you to actually adjust it if you know, okay, that didn't really work, but I'll just change this a bit around and then get on to that. Much easier to do that than thinking about rearranging the whole lot. Yeah.
So when I saw this slide, Gabriel and Ricardo, the first one that came to my mind was analysis until paralysis.
Yes.
Somebody who keeps analyzing, they don't actually get into motion because thinking, I want to change this, I want to change that. Just do it. Don't get paralyzed until you don't move and you don't make an action. And analysis until paralysis sets in. Just make a move. If you're waiting for the right moment, it's never going to arrive. Just do it, as Nike says. Just do it.
Yeah. Just do it. Yep. Otherwise, you'll be overwhelmed. You just feel overwhelmed.
I haven't heard that one, but I love the one. I haven't heard that one for a long time. I love the one.
Which one?
I love that one. The one that Alex was mentioned, analysis and paralysis. Yeah, I love
analysis and paralysis. Yeah.
I love that.
You know what, Alex? I was trying to figure in my head what it was, and you just hit it. Hit the nail on the head. While you were starting that. Yeah, exactly. There you go.
I love that one. I love that one.
Love it. Yeah, absolutely.
So yes, lack of focus. Lack of focus. We said that lack of focus is caused by distraction and unclear goals. My goodness.
Yeah.
How many distractions we have nowadays? How many distractions we have nowadays? Well, we say we call them distraction when I call them normal challenge in life. This is life. Everything happens. Right? See, life doesn't happen to you. You're not here. So we're always gonna have some stuff there that we need to block, and we need to find a way how to go around and still remain on the course. And as a strategy, we say we're going to create a distraction-free work pace, which is basically if you have the opportunity to have a little office or you have the opportunity to have that little security place where you can go and work. I think sometimes if you haven't got that, sometimes you need to talk to your spouse or husband, uh, wife, or the family. Say, listen, guys, I need to from 2 to 3 or 4. I don't want anyone to disturb me. I just want to focus and get on with things. You need to be able to create that environment or that little time that is gonna be for you, the task that you want to do or whatever, or whatever you want to achieve. And again, and clear goals will never take you anywhere. You need to be clear with your goals. When you are clear with your goals, when you know what you want to achieve, how you're gonna do it, because you need to have that plan. You know, as I mentioned before, I want to break down this you want to do to get there. It's easy to focus. And use time blocking, as I mentioned before. This is my time, I'm going to do this, will happen. And my phone is going to be switched off, this is going to be off, this is my time. And, avoid multitasking. You just need one. Focus on one first, please. And until you can be that person who can manage a lot of things. I know, I like focus. This needs to happen now, and this needs to happen later. Just keep it simple. And use app to block distractions. I was searching or researching about apps, and the most popular one now, one app called Freedom. I never used it before, but it looks like one of these popular apps to block distractions. And there's another one called Block Ties, and another one called App Block. We have a Stay Focused, and we have Focus Me. So if you still want to research about that, just go to Google and type apps to block this distractions that will pop up. And the other thing is revisit and adjust priorities regularly.
You
You
know,
need to
Ricardo,
do it.
sorry, Ricardo, you just saying
Yeah,
about, you researching some apps to block.
yeah, yeah.
Just switch off the phone. Just switch off the phone, man. If you find you've always been distracted, always looking at your phone every 5 minutes, just block the time, switch off the phone, make sure you're unavailable to any phone calls, any messages. Just switch off the phone.
Yeah.
Because
Peace.
life is full of so many distractions. Sorry, Ricardo, go on.
No, it's true. I was about to say, it's unbelievable how addicted we get to the phones and to devices. It's just
Very.
unbelievable. We could do an exercise. If everybody here at the audience, please try to go a day without phone, or 2 hours or 3 hours as an exercise, and you're gonna realize how addicted you are. You feel like you're missing something. You
Yeah,
feel like a
yeah,
part of your body, I don't know, your core is just disappearing because we have now put our life inside the phones, and it's constant. You just go to the tube, get on the tube, get on the people walking. I don't know how people don't bump into each other. If you see them, you're walking, you pass by it. No one, nobody walking. No, honestly, nobody is looking up to see what coming. No, people just
Oh, it
through
is.
the
It
phone.
is. It
yeah.
is. It is very interesting when you see that. I mean, you look at that. Look at that. I mean, that picture there, right? Let me tell you something. That
Yeah,
picture there, you see the person there, and they are looking for something, and they've got the map there, right? And at least they're looking ahead. But here's the funny thing about it: a lot of people with their phones are using like the sat nav or or the Google Maps or something like that, and using that to tell them where they're going. So they're not even looking at something; they're just going, "Okay, like this," and using that net, and it could be taken on. And I just started. I'm just thinking to myself. I remember when my wife was doing that. So just take that thing off, right? Let's go back to the basics, right? We was in New York at that time. We was in New York. I said, "What's happening? How does it work? 'Cause everything's in the grid.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Everything's in the grid. Work it out. We can work it out. We can tell them, okay, we want to go down Fifth Avenue. What's the next one? Then blah blah blah. And we know where we're going. It's easy. Nothing's like you're going in winding roads or anything like that. Everything's in the grid.
It's
Everything's
on
going to
the
come.
grid. Yeah,
So easy. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
people
So
come.
sometimes you got to look at it and say to yourself, yeah, exactly. I mean, focus on where we need to go. Figure it out how easy it's to get there. Don't get distracted, because that's the thing about the thing. How is interesting about you using your phone. You don't even know. All of a sudden, someone's beeping you, or an advert comes up on your phone, and something, you get distracted. Secondly, you don't even know whether that the Google is taking you on a wild goose chase, because you don't know if it's bouncing around the satellite. All right, so there you go. That's it.
People, people can't read maps anymore.
yeah,
Alex
yeah.
and Gary, people don't. If you give somebody a map right now on the street, they're gonna look at you like you're crazy. First of all, they're gonna look at you, what are you doing? Give me a piece of paper to read to, or what? And people, they don't understand maps anymore. We lost that. This new population that we have is all glued to the map, to the thing and technology, but they're losing the skills. People don't got skills anymore.
Using skills,
I
man.
mean,
Because
people are struggling with adjusting, and we're living in a world where priority is not anymore. Priority is just, they don't know what priority means.
wow,
That's
You
sad.
know,
That's sad.
this is the world that we're living.
yeah. So the interesting thing is that, unfortunately, the technology is becoming a distraction, and we need, as we say, we need to be in control of our minds and our focus and what we need to focus on, rather than them telling us what we should focus on. That's the interesting thing about it.
Absolutely.
Well, we're now talking about artificial intelligence now, isn't it? AI.
And then you go into that, and then that gets takes you into another realm of things.
Absolutely.
No,
Yeah.
And we have to say to people, we are not saying to people don't use technology, but all we are saying is don't abuse it.
Know how to use it. Know how to use it.
Yes. You know, keep you natural skills.
I mean, I think the thing is what people don't really understand when we say the things. I said, don't technology. I love technology. Don't get me wrong. I love it, and I love it because the things that it allows me to do, right? But I am hell bent on the fact that as soon as you are trying to control me, I am like, whoa, stop right there. No. Stop. I need to be in control here, not you telling me.
Absolutely.
That's how I feel. So I'm very, very conscious of that. And unfortunately, a lot of people are not actually conscious of that because the habits become so ingrained in them, and they don't even realize they're doing it. Fortunately, that's the thing. Yeah.
Well, that explain family. That explain how on earth we are living in the best time ever for people to make money, people to get into enterprises. We have the technology, we have everything, and people can't focus on do it. People can't do it. If you see the size of the population, only a few people are doing it. It's because all of this lack of focus, distractions. People can't get their head around, and it just now they just giving their life. It's like they switch to automatic pilot. Just let technology take me to a place. I don't want to think anymore. I just want like an android walking on the street. I mean, that's it. You know, this is it.
Well, you know, there was a documentary a couple of months ago. It was called Interchange Students, and it looks at these 4 students from London who went to other parts of the world. One went to United States, New York. One went to Australia. I think the other went to India. I can't remember. I think the other went to Central or South America. And particularly this girl who went to Australia, Gabriel, the family who welcomed her in were very upset with her because as soon as she arrived in, she went to her bedroom and she spent almost all her time on her mobile phone. And they said, at one point, we're going to have to take away the phone away from you because we've invited you to our house for this week as an experiment. And you, rather than sharing the time with the family, you're going straight to the bed on your phone. And she said, well, it's part of what we do in my household. When I arrive home from school, I just go straight on the phone. I said, but no, here we want you to be more sociable. So the director, the producer of the program, traveled to Australia, Gabriel and Ricardo, and had a word with the girl, and said, look, this experiment, just try and interact with the family. So we're going to take away the phone for one day. She found it very, very hard to give up the phone. But after that, she was socializing with the family, and she felt her well-being went through the roof.
There you go.
Went through the roof. But, oh my goodness, it was a really good.
And that's no surprise to me.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yes, we know, it's no surprise to me because that is it. We forget what we are as human beings. We are social creatures.
Yep.
Hands down. If you're not that social and you don't interact with social creatures, I'll tell you that you can't be the happiest person.
You won't survive.
Yeah.
Now, fear of failure. I love that as well because it's a killer. It's a typical thing. Avoiding risk due to fear, limits, and growth. As I mentioned before, fear false full appearance and full evidence appearance real.
Appearing real.
Appearing real. And strategies that we're bringing is reframe failure as a learning. Embrace the failure as a learning. As I mentioned before, you fail but believe me, just for your own good, because you're gonna learn now. You're gonna go back stronger, and at the end you're gonna get it done. Take a small risk, and I would say more. Take a small calculated risk, right? But in life, if you only do things that make sense, you will never be successful. So
Mm.
you still need some time to take risks. Visualize success and plan for a setback. There's always gonna be a bumpy road or a training. But if you are already, you know already where to go or where you're going, um, nothing will take you out of course. And learn from the feedback and role models. Get an accountability partner, someone who will get a mentor, someone who will tell you as it is. Don't ask your friend, your good friend, because the majority of the time, your good friend, yes, you're gonna try to tell you things that are not to upset you, and that is not real. Get someone who basically has clear, strong opinion, and that's it, and will tell you as it is. And that will be called a mentor or someone accountability, but someone that will tell us this, but it's for your own good,
Yeah.
and be positive and receptive to any feedback. Yeah, don't get defensive. Uh, yes,
Yeah.
role
Yeah,
models.
Yeah.
role models indeed.
Find
Yeah,
find find that person that you want to be, or go already what you want, and study them, look at them, and get close to them. I think that will help, to overcome the fear of failure. But I would say something, Nicola, um, and Alex. I think we all have been there at some point in our lives. Um, we always feel that fear, but we might have found a way how to overcome it, and through books, being associated to positive people who have done the things that we want, we found a way around the things that we learn. But I have to say, it's not a shame to feel fear one day, but you don't need to live with fear. It's always something out there that you can implement and help you to overcome that. What do you think, guys?
Yeah. Yeah. Gabriel, what's the name of that book? Feel the Fear, but do it anyway. It's written by a
yeah.
woman, isn't it? I can't remember the woman's name.
Oh, the book by no by
It's a great book. I mean, it's a small book from my memory, but
it's not book.
as
Yeah,
Ricardo says,
it's by the guy. The guy's name is Shad Helmsletter.
all right. Well,
Helmstetter.
No.
Sorry, I want to
okay.
say his
Yeah.
surname, but he's
Feel
Helmstetter.
the fear, but do it anyway. Yeah.
No, sorry, not this book. Oh no, you're talking about the. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm saying
Feel,
not to say it's when it's about self-talk.
yeah.
Sorry,
Feel the
no, the
fear,
other
but
book.
do it anyway. Yeah.
Feel the fear and do it anyway.
Yeah. I've got that at my mum's house. Yeah.
That one, yeah.
That is
Sorry, I
great.
remember that book. Sorry, yes, I've got the wrong
Yeah.
book.
Yeah.
Yes,
And,
yes.
and Gabriel, which one is a book that you haven't got?
What's that?
Which one is the book that you haven't got?
I know.
You could, you
I
could
know.
ask
No, I don't know. I've got. I know. I've got a lot of books, and some of the
man,
books I can't remember what I got because I've got
man,
them still in the. I
that
still have them in the
that
box. Oh
that
my
private
goodness.
collection, that private collection. I want to see that one day.
Do you know what? As I said, there was a time when I couldn't get enough of books. I just wanted so much.
Nice.
And I was just going. It was to me, it was like music.
Yeah,
Like buying my like when I used to listen to great music and then
mm,
I'd go out and go to the record shop and purchase it. It felt like that because the information was just I wanted to just absorb. I was just in that mindset. So yeah,
yeah.
many books.
Yeah.
Nice. I love that. Much
Yeah.
of
So
everything.
the book is called Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. It's by Susan Jeffers.
Susan
Uh huh.
Jeffers.
That's it. Yeah. A really good book.
Thank you.
Really, really
That's
good
it.
book.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
probably
My gosh, yeah,
okay.
I definitely, that book. I got to find it. I got
yeah.
to go in
Your
my
collection.
box. Yeah, a lot of them couldn't fit on the on my shelf there, but there you go.
All right.
Wow,
Ricardo,
good.
great presentation, man. Really good presentation. Let me go into the live chat. There's been only a few actually on this live podcast. English Conversation Club said hello. I think because they were maybe waiting because we went a little bit late.
A bit late, yeah.
And then they said some great ideas, Ricardo. And then we have Carl. I recognize Carl's name. He says hi.
Hi, Carl.
Back to him. And he said, I can't read maps either. That's the skill that we've lost.
Oh, Carl.
we call
Don't take it personally, Carl. Yeah, there's too many people.
I wonder if we were to go back to maps now, right? Like A to Z. I remember A to Z, right? I mean, A to Z in the UK.
Yeah.
And going back to it and start doing it. I wonder how it would be. I'm just thinking to myself, because my goodness, I don't even know how I used to do it back then. We used to drive.
Yeah.
We used to drive. Look at the map.
Yeah.
Memorize it. Because you can't look at the map
whilst you're driving.
Driving, right?
Exactly.
Exactly. So you can't look at the map. So otherwise you crash your car.
Yeah.
So we had to make sure we memorize exactly where we're going on the map, what you're seeing, and then go put it down, and then go right. Okay, let's go there. Then it told me to turn right, then down this street, and turn left. Do you know what I mean? It's like
yeah. Gabs, do you remember because I think we had the same driving instructor, didn't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's his name? Oh, I forgot his name. That's what we're trying to
glasses and I asked him the same question because I was saying to him, imagine if I want to go to Manchester. How am I going to get to Manchester? He said, well, you just take notes, but you commit it to memory. You get to this place, you look at the road signs, then you follow the road signs, you get to a certain town or the city before your destination. I was thinking, could I do it now? I don't know if I could do it now. I don't know.
Wow.
That's going to be a challenge for me.
It's a challenge. So I'm thinking so now you've mentioned it, I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to do that. Do you know what? I'm going to set myself for that challenge.
Commit it to memory, the directions.
Commit to memory.
Yeah.
And then do it that way. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right. Okay. So we are putting out an invitation for the next few minutes. If you are watching now, there's a couple of people watching now. If you would like to come onto the podcast, just click the link. The link is in the description box, and we'll welcome you onto the podcast. Any ideas for next week's podcast, fellas? Any ideas?
I
think we should do start with a special because the Father's Day is on Sunday, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
If we do think about topics related to fathers or parenting, I don't know, something like that. I would love something like that. Guys, what do you think?
That's a good idea.
You know?
Yeah. So maybe we can talk about maybe the best piece of advice we got from our parents. But anyway, that's a good idea.
Yes.
That's a good idea, Ricardo.
I love that.
The profound statements.
Yes.
Profound statements. I'll tell you what, my dad had a lot of them.
Yes. Whoa. Bring it on, man.
My dad had a lot of them.
We've only got an hour, man.
But the interesting thing is when he was telling me half these things, because I'm young, you look at him and go, "What do you mean?"
Yeah.
What do you mean? Yeah, I mean, I don't get what you're saying. Yeah, you're right, Dad. You're just preaching. Funny enough, as you go through the years and you go, "Oh my God, I remember my dad told me da da da," and you go, "Wow, so true." How true that is.
Yeah.
Wow. My mom had too many sayings, man. I love the saying. And then now, I'm sitting here. I can see everything that you used to tell me. Do this, do that. She used to tell me one. Sometimes I always wanted to go out with the friends, and she used to tell me, "Listen, you and your friends, you are not joined by the hip." Sometimes you need to do stuff on your own. You need to learn how to do stuff. the little that you know, later on in life, you say,
Yeah.
oh,
What do you mean?
you
I want
know,
to hang out with my friends. I'm not doing with things with friends. What do you mean? What are you talking about? Do you know what I mean? And now you understand why. Yeah.
you know.
Wow.
Oh man, unbelievable. Oh, I think that would be a great topic, guys.
That'd be a
We
good
will
topic for next week. Great
we'll be
topic.
sorting out
All
for
right.
next
So
month.
no one I can see has entered the green room. No one's taken up the offer to come into the live podcast. So it is okay, but we're just 4 minutes short of an hour, so I think we'll just end it at the right time. Ricardo, great presentation, man. Really,
Man,
really good presentation.
now,
Really
now
good.
we have to 50-50
Awesome.
because you know how to say it, man. The man behind the tech, the one who put the slides, you need to deserve some credit.
Is that
What a game.
oh,
As always, Gabriel.
yeah, man, you pulled it off as well. You know what I mean? Well done for elaborating it, man. No,
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, really, really good.
No,
Really good.
no, it's good.
Really
It's
good.
good. It's good. It's good.
So that's the end of another podcast until next week. I think you've got an idea of what we're going to be talking about. All the the words our parents told us and we never listened. Well, I listened to maybe 50% of them, but it's going to be an interesting show for the next podcast. But from Gabriel, Ricardo, and myself, we shall see you next week, guys. Thank you very much. Take care. Have a great week.
Bye, guys.
Have a great
Great weekend, man.
weekend.
Have a
Cheers.
great weekend.
Have a great weekend
Take
and a
care.
great week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See you
Yes.
later. Bye. Bye.